We've played a little bit of this one on the channel before, but Collector's Cage is the card we are going to be discussing today. This particular version of Cage is green-white, so you have a little bit more acceleration with elves. You have both Lovestruck Beast and Sandstorm Salvager. This is a 1/1 that makes a 3/3, and what's nice about both of these cards is they provide you with two bodies that have different powers in one card. You have the Copters to help loot away extra copies of Cav, and then if you just remove the cages and the Cavs, you just have green-white good cards. I don't mean to alarm you, but we have been Rakdos' returned. Hello everyone and welcome to another video on the channel. As we get deeper into the RCQ season, we are trying some more cards from Outlaws of Thunder Junction. Set's only a week and a half, about 2 weeks old, and you know, I am still constantly finding new cards to brew with, and this is the new Hideaway card. For those of you who don't know, it is on your screen. So it's a 2-mana artifact. When it ETBs, you look at the top 5. You get to exile one of them face down, and then if you can achieve 3 creatures with different powers, after putting a counter on it with the cage, of course, you can cast that spell for free. So in Modern, you have some cards that maybe are a little bit, bigger at the top end. Think Emrakul the Aeon's Torn, Craterhoof Behemoth, Gristlebrand, all these kind of cool things. And I've seen people cooking with Emrakul specifically. But in Pioneer, the biggest and baddest thing that we have access to is Moonshaker Cavalry, which is very similar to Craterhoof Behemoth. It usually will end the game when it enters the battlefield. It gives all of your creatures flying at +X/+X, where X is the number of creatures you control. So if you can generate a lot of creatures early, say with mana dorks in the form of Llanowar Elves or Elvish Mystic, and then other cheap creatures, things like 1 mana for a Lovestruck Beast, Sandstorm Salvager is 3 mana for a 1/1 that makes a second body, Huntsman's Redemption, make a 3/3, couple of cheap creatures in the form of Copter. You can kind of see where this is going. So the goal of this deck is ostensibly to cage as quickly as possible. And one of the most important things in doing so is specifically Sandstorm Salvager. And the reason this card is so good is because for 3 mana, you get 2 creatures with different powers. That gets you 2/3 of the way there to cage. You only need to mix in 1 Llanowar Elf and you are already off to the races with cage. Normally you would need 3 additional cards to help to trigger cage. This way you only need 2. Kind of the same thing with Lovestruck Beast, right? 1 mana for a 1/1, 3 mana for a 5/5. That's 2 creatures. That's 2 different powers. You see where this is going. And then what's even really nice about Chariot specifically is you can go Chariot ETB, make 2 2/2s, use the 2 2/2s to crew the Chariot, and then if you cage on one of the 2/2s, you then have a 4, a 3, and a 2. That just activates cage by itself. So you can kind of see how this deck can kind of turbo cage as quickly as possible. Now, other than Moonshaker Cavalry, because you kind of do need more than 4 payoffs, what's nice about specifically, well, not just Pioneer, you can also do this in Modern as well, but these lands work extremely well with Collector's Cage because they're just lands that go into your mana base. Like you'll notice we have 23 total lands, but they're also very, very good to hit off of cage. Turntimber Symbiosis looks at the top 7. You get a creature from among them onto the battlefield. Then if it's mana value 3 or less, you get some additional counters. And then Emeria's Call just gives you 2 4/4 flyers. So both of those are exceptional hits off of cage as well, in addition to the Moonshaker Cavalries, to the point where I've even tried lists of this deck that haven't even included the Cavs and just have the lands as big payoffs, which is something you could do as well. The rest of the deck, another card that I want to highlight here is Huntsman's Redemption. Does a couple of different things. You're not always going to have cage going every single game. You're not always going to draw it. Sometimes the game's going to go in a different way. They kill your creatures. It's not always going to be the easiest thing to enable. And in the games where you don't have cage, I really do like Huntsman's Redemption as kind of like this alternate plan B, where it's just put a bunch of stuff onto the battlefield and attack your opponent. Because specifically when combined with Lovestruck Beast, this is a 5/5 creature, giving it +2/+2 and trample makes it very hard to block and can push through a lot of damage. The other thing, it also tutors for creatures, right? So if you do have a cage, you can tutor for a Salvager to get you 2/3 of the way there. I have a Verdurous Gearhulk as kind of an additional big thing to hit off cage, but also 5 mana, so it's relatively attainable to cast, and you can also tutor it off of the Huntsman's Redemption. I'm playing a Skyclave as a tutorable piece of interaction, which I think is pretty cool. And then this this one's a little suspect. This is Howlpack Piper. So I wanted something that I could tutor for off of Huntsman's Redemption to be able to convert Moonshaker cavalries that I've drawn in my hand, because 8 mana, not going to happen most of the time. And this was kind of the only thing that I could find. Now, granted, you do have to wait an additional turn, so it's not great, but, you know, you are limited to what you can search for off of Redemption because it only finds creatures. So this is the best thing if I could come up with. If you have any suggestions, please feel free to let me know in the comments, because, you know, I'm still working on this deck. It's a work in progress, but I've been pretty happy with it so far. That's pretty much it for the main deck as far as the mana base. Nothing that nothing you haven't seen before. Some dual lands, couple of basics. One thing I will note, it is important to play one of each basic, because Huntsman's Redemption can find creatures or basic land, and you do want to make sure that you can find either color off of Redemption. Heading on over to the sideboard briefly, we have wedding announcements for the grindy matchups. I think it is the best thing, and it creates 1/1s for Lovestruck Beast, so that could be very important. Redain is a card that you want to be able to tutor against Lotus Field and other decks like Bring the Light that are trying to cast expensive sorceries. Cutsel's Flanker, multi-purpose all-star, gains life against red, exiles graveyards against Phoenix. Also even good against sweepers, because if you hold up Flanker and they sweep your board, you can just pay 3 mana and have a 6 or a 7 power creature. Archon of Emeria, similar thing to Redain, tutorable against Lotus Field. Skyclave Apparition, 2 additional copies of those for when you just need more interaction. A Scavenging Ooze for the graveyard matchups, if Moto will allow me to highlight it. 3 copies of Pick Your Poison, good against, everything at this point. I've talked about this on stream multiple times. I think this is just the best sideboard card in the format, and if you're playing green, you probably should have a lot of this card in your sideboard. Phoenix, Leyline Binding, Fable the Mirror, well, not the card Phoenix itself, but the deck Phoenix. Ledger, Shredder, and Crackling Drake, Leyline Binding, Fable the Mirror Breaker, Vein Ripper, you name it. There's endless number of cards this thing is good against. And then last but certainly not least, Unlicensed Herbs, we gotta get those Phoenixes out of here somehow, excuse me. That's pretty much it for the main deck. I'm very, very excited to showcase you guys this league, because I had an absolute blast, and I think this deck is the real deal, and perhaps something you should consider for your RCQs. With all of that said, I'll see you back here in just a bit for round number 1. Jose got a feature match this weekend. I saw the Jose feature match. I don't remember a lot of it, but I do remember that Jose got a feature match. Not sure if this hand's a keep, but it's like, these are effectively 2 spells. Oh, Simon, right, okay. Yeah. The Dead Marshes. Aderman, thank you for the Prime sub. Appreciate that. Appreciate that Twitch Prime. Thank you so much for the support. What were your records, respectively? I'm assuming because Boner is saying that, I'm assuming you had a great limited record, not a great constructed record. I don't know what the split is. Well, thanks for the sub, Aderman. I appreciate that. Just in case they give me a target for Boseiju this turn, do this. 6-0 limited? Oh, I didn't know you 6-0 limited. We gotta work on that constructed record, man. We gotta have a chat about that. Yeah, 6-0 limited is kind of wild. Not a lot of people have the opportunity to say that they went 6-0 and limited at a PT. Your constructed deck looked like it was tweaked. Like, it seemed like you made some good deck building decisions from what I saw, and it seemed like you were well prepared for Esper. Yeah, you'd kind of just get Acklesdots out of the building, though. I don't think there was a lot. I know the person who was previously undefeated did take a loss, because there was one individual that had not lost in limited at the PT the entire year, but they picked up a loss. They picked up a loss this weekend. Should I have a companion? My emotional support elk. Acklezot City. Should have played more blotouts. A lot of the Esper decks I saw had blotout, which made sense. They were all, like, worried about opposing Akklezots. Alright, well, next turn. Next turn. Don't worry. Surely they will not have another discard spell. I'm going to cast Turn Timber Sim. What is the best thing I can even put into play off this? I guess the Salvager? Salvager wouldn't be too bad. Oh, they're just going to cast the Traxo. I don't mean to alarm you, but we have been Rakdos' returned. Just saying. I don't mean to alarm you, folks, but our opponent has cast Rakdos' Return in the year of our Lord and Savior 2024. Remember when everybody used to play that card in Standard? Okay, alright, you win. I'm out of here. Boseiju their land. I could Boseiju their land, or I could just concede. That also works, right? I was F6'd, but I should have Boseiju their land. All right, Atraxa. Pip coming in. I would like to pip. I think I want Skyclave against them. Piper seems not ideal. I mean, I'd like to test it out, but this is probably not the Piper matchup. I'm gonna cut one. I'm gonna cut an elf. Announcement bad. Like, Announcement helps me grind through their removal, but this Announcement definitely does not beat an Atraxa. No, Hearse isn't that good. They're doing Transmogrify stuff. I don't think Hearse does that much against them. No elf, but I can try this. I'm gonna turn one Lovestruck Beast. We'll work with this. Heart's Desire. I desire the hearts. Oh, you meant PYP. Oh, I see. I thought you were talking about the Piper. Right, I got you now. Where were you on turn 1? This is kind of awkward. I think I will simply believe that I can draw land next turn in 2 draw steps. If I had this on turn 1, then we could play, Huntsman's on 2. This would have been a lot better. Be like, Huntsman's on 2, next turn, float mana, sack the elf, get the salvager, all that stuff. Okay, that's not concerning. I have located the land, so now we should go Elf Cage. Yeah, definitely Elf Cage here. Probably discarding Gearhulk. Yeah, I'll keep the Lovestruck Beast, just in case I need more stuff for the cage. Alright, and I would prefer to hit off of this, please and thank you. Exactly the hit that I was looking for, but, I mean, it's better than nothing. I kind of would even rather have a Pick Your Poison there, so I could Pick Your Poison the turn that they go for Transmogrify. Yeah, I mean, the upside is we put 4 lands in the bottom, which is very, very good. Definitely did not want to draw those lands. Oh, you mean the pizza that you posted last night? Let's see what chat thinks about this. Hold on. All right, chat, rate this pizza. Scale of 1 to, I don't know. Scale of 1 to 69. What would you rate this pizza? It's what, pepperoni and jalapenos, right? Is that what that is? Looks like jalapenos. 68? Monkey Brain with the correct answer. 68.69. That is the only correct answer. Well, I guess I'll cage again. Try and find something better. That qualifies as something better. Okay, they clearly have Fatal Push. So I'm trying to think of what the best way to do this is. I think the answer is crew, then go to combat. But I'm not going to activate yet. I'm going to wait for them to do something before I activate. Like, for instance, if they push now, then I can cage. But I don't want to be the first one to act, because they just push in response. No, I have not played that matchup yet. Alright, we'll take a little loot. Take a little bit of a loot. I think I need the 3rd cage. And then I guess we're just passing? They're 12. Can activate, then activate a response. I guess I can maybe try to bait them, right? Where I go cage, this cage, target. If they respond, then I can cast the one that I want to. Okay, that's actually kind of nice. And then if they don't respond, I just cast the Chariot and pass. Right, and either outcome is fine. Well, I don't get both. Right? Because when this one goes to resolve, I'll have same powers, I think. They're going to torch the Copter crew for a 4/4. Oh, because we're getting a 4/4 off of this. Right, okay, so we go here. 3, 2, 1, cast this, and then we get a 4/4. Right, okay. We just get everything. And then this gets indestructible because of the Emeria's Call. So that resolves. Right, we just get everything. Okay, that was gross. That was a pretty good turn, wasn't it? Not a bad turn. Can you activate on the Copter? No, because I would have 4, 1, 1. So I had to activate on something that wasn't the Copter. Right? Because I lead on this one, they respond. If I target Copter, I have a 4 and 2 1s. And then I can't use this first one, you know what I mean? Plus, like, the Emeria's Call is going to counter the Torch anyways, so it doesn't matter. Like, the Torch doesn't actually matter that much. Now, the question is, do we have enough power to kill through an Atraxa? I'm not sure that we do. Because they're effectively at 19 with a blocker. Yeah, I guess that's also a card, huh? pretty good against Indestructible. Well, that's unfortunate. Alright, they have found the Indestructible tech. Well, shit, now what? Huntsman's Elf copy. Can I crew both? I can only crew both if I play Lovestruck Elf. What's more important? What's more important, more damage or more tokens? I think more damage. Yeah, I think more damage is more important. Oh, we can do both, right? Yeah, I can just do it. I can do it this way, right? Yeah, this is better. Because then I get more damage and I at least get a token out of it. Don't think I need that one. Although, yeah, okay, I'm gonna discard this. Might have been better to keep the Huntsman's in the land and just play the land this turn. Like, I'm okay with skipping my land drop this turn, though. I think it's okay. And they shouldn't be able to Transmogrify this turn. Like, they don't have a card in their deck that generates token for 1 mana, I don't think. They can search for a Sweeper, I guess, but the Sweeper doesn't kill Lovestruck. And we can at least, you know, crew the Chariot with the Lovestruck. I guess Mutavault would work, yeah. They could go Mutavault plus Transmogrify. Good point. Yeah. Some of these decks do. I kind of forget about Mutavault. In my experience, if you're playing black, the best card that I found against Emeria is the Knight of Dusk's Shadow. I like that card. But, like, cards that say your opponents can't gain life. Rampaging Ferocidon, Knight of Dusk's Shadow, Roiling Vortex, most of them are in red, Skullcrack. Are there other colors that have can't gain life besides red and black? I looked for a green-white card, and I couldn't find one. And I doubt blue has one. But I think they're only in red and black. I mean, I'm already on 6. I don't want to go to 5. Tainted Remedy? That's a 3-mana enchantment, right? If they would gain life, they lose that much life or something. Sphere stops them? How does Sphere stop them? Not really. No, Sphere. I would never ever consider bringing in Sphere against Emeria. They don't even double spell that often. Like, they just go turn 1 veteran, turn 2 thing, turn. You know what I mean? They're mostly playing 1 spell a turn anyways. I guess in the exact curve where they have turn 1 veteran, turn 2 innkeeper, turn 3 double spell, it like slows that down by a turn, but it's not worth it. Oh, you mean Torpor Orb. Yes, Torpor Orb is extremely good against them. Yes, Orb is very, very good against Emeria. Call's got to be better than Symbiosis, I would assume. I like how I bought him the Cav and Druidcav. But like in Sandstorm over Lovestruck. Yeah, I mean, I'm playing both, but I do really like Sandstorm a lot. That card has been phenomenal. Even in games where I'm not caging. Oh, that's just Emeria's Call. So we should just do it now, right? Yeah, we should do that now. I don't want to give them the opportunity to respond and push me or something. Alright, your turn. Now, the issue is, it's not clear that 4/4 flyers are even good enough against the Traxxas, so... Like, this is my nut draw, you know? I had turn 3 Emeria's Call, and it's probably not going to be good enough. Yeah, they could also have Extinction Event. Even Path of Peril just cleans up the Angels. That's the downside to main phasing, sure. Okay. Hadn't thought about that. That card's also really good against my deck. Well, I guess I can cage again, so let's do that. This one kind of has to be a Cav. Well, that's interesting. Now what do we do? Because I can activate this cage. It's gotta be Gearhulk, right? If I put Gearhulk underneath, attack with the 2/2 elf and the 4/4 angel, they try to trade, we just go Gearhulk, blow you out. That's gotta be good, right? I'm gonna Gearhulk. Guess they have the Bankbuster to crew, but I don't think they want to do that. And this attack kind of just looks like I have another Emeria's Call, right? Angel be a 5/5. No, I can put a counter on the elf if I want to. I have a 4, a 2, and a 1. I can choose to put a counter on either of these. Doesn't really matter that much. So we go here, cast this. So we need 2 on this and 2 on this. And then this is a 5/5, that dies, they take 6. Again, not sure if this is gonna be enough. It's maybe good enough if they don't have a Traxa. And by Atraxa, I mean Transmogrify. Blame it on the net. How popular was Lotus at my RCQs? I didn't stick around for that long. I played 3 matches. I played against Phoenix twice in blue-white, and I bounced. From what I saw, I didn't see any Lotus, but I have no idea. What is this? This is Magic the Gathering. Welcome to the stream. All right, we need to draw Pick Your Poison. Pip. Peep. It's not a peep. And all my stuff has to attack, huh? Well, technically, I could use all 4 of my creatures to crew the copter. But then all of it dies anyways, so, you know. Alright, I guess I'll attack then. Probably not winning this one. Save the Acro in War 2. They just put 7/7 here, this here, probably. Or they just don't even block with the reflection. Oh, did they find second Transmogrify? I'll just scoop to that. I think they did. 7. Yeah, alright, we're dead. We're dead. We're dead. We are dead. Next match. That does seem like kind of a tough matchup. Maybe? We'll try it. No, Elf is kind of tough, though. Hello?
Bruh.
I mean, I did put these cards in my deck, you know? I can't complain about drawing them. God, there's been so much Niv lately. Is Moonshaker better than Emrakul? I'm not a huge fan of the 13-man Emrakul. I mean, it's probably not bad, but Moonshaker usually does end the game on the spot. Did I see that new card called collectorscage? No, tell me more. Yeah, it's just white Craterhoof. I think I like it better than the 13-man Emrakul. Here's the issue with the Emrakul, right? So a typical play pattern with Emrakul is you cast the Emrakul, right? Say you're playing against a Niv or a blue-white opponent, and they have a sweeper in their hand, but they're like, okay, you're going to take my turn. If you cast the sweeper, then the Emrakul dies. But if you don't cast the sweeper, then I'm just going to cast the sweeper next turn. So it's like, does it really do that much? That's my issue with Emrakul, is it just seems really bad against like Niv and blue-white. And against everything else, it ends the game on the spot just as much, you know? On top of the fact that more people are playing Blot Out, and just edicts in general, right? Blot Out, Pick Your Poison. I guess it's fine against Pick Your Poison, because if you Mindslaver them and they have Pick Your Poison, you can just make them use it on something that's not, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's okay against Pick Your Poison, for what it's worth. What's my hot take on the PT? I don't really have any hot takes, but yeah, Domain's still good. I mean, everybody knew that Domain was still good, you know? For the most part, I think. Black-White Bronco deserve more. I want to build that deck in Pioneer. I think that there's probably something there for Pioneer. You have a lot of the same cards. They always draw their 1 goal against command. How do they always draw their 1 goal against command? I don't know. They only play 1, right? Right? That's the last standard PT. So I guess my question is, so I don't actually know this. If that's the last standard PT before rotation, what is Dallas qualifying for? Because Dallas is standard. Does anybody know? Yeah, I guess Worlds kind of counts. Dallas qualifies for Amsterdam, which is modern. Okay, why do they have a standard RC fueling a modern Pro Tour? Something doesn't add up there. True. I mean, when you put it like that, Float Mana, I should have considered that. What did they put in their hand? They put
Things, what the fuck?
Into their hand. Alright, we have a Beans Enjoyer. How do you feel about vegetables? I'm very anti-vegetables. Well, no, they're not on the DreamHack anymore, right? I thought they were no longer on DreamHack. I'm pretty sure they're on the SCG schedule now, I think. Yeah, it's SCG now. Yeah, Dallas is the last DreamHack. You have a Chump Blocker. I'm just going to cast my shit. You figure it out. Casting my cards. No, Nausea, thank you for the 15-month resub. Welcome back, Nausea. Appreciate that. Did we even figure out what we're naming the first one? Denver, which was modern, fueled this past Pro Tour, which was standard. Yeah, see, I was under the impression that the RC had to be the same format as the PT, but apparently that changed. I don't know when that changed, but apparently it did. Because now this is what, back-to-back PTs that didn't have the appropriate RC format feeding it. What'd they do? Molten Collapse my Lovestruck Beast. Okay, I'm gonna Redemption this turn so I can search for Gearhulk next. It's the plan. 5, 8, 11. They go to 7. Well, do your worst. They did say they want the match the RCQ RC PT format to match, but they broke their own rule because MH3. Oh, okay. So because they felt like they needed to force an MH3 Pro Tour, they had to change the schedule around. Is that what you're saying? Okay, I guess that kind of makes sense. But like, you could also just, yeah, you don't want to have the Modern Pro Tour like 3 or 4 months after MH3 because then the hype isn't as real. Okay, I guess I buy that. Did we do the SR from 10 minutes ago? There was only one SR, right? Did I miss another SR? Oh, they wrathed me. How original. Let me just look. Oh, they're at 7? I only have 1 mana up this turn, which is pretty big. So, do this. Cast Marcus Chariota. Crew here. Go to combat. I go to 4. Alright, your turn. Still 5 cards in hand, though. But we can potentially beat a second sweeper, maybe. Although if they have sweeper plus hold up mana for incubator, it could be weird. Force the sword upon them. Now they have a choice. I will allow them the choice. Alright, Copter dead. Copter Didge. VIM. I don't know what that is. Very important manatee. And we'll eventually have a redemption for a VIM. But not today. At some point down the road. What made Niv come back? Mostly Claudio, but also Pillage the Bog. This card is exceptional in this deck. Because the thing about Niv is I don't think they had a ton of good Golgari cards before, and this is a card that helps fix your early draws. It's an insane top deck, because you just look at half of your library to find a good card. It's just like, this card is good every stage of the game, and it's a Golgari card to hit off Niv. It's so good. Oh, wait, we still have lethal. Right? Cage for game. Oh my goodness. Take this. Wow. Crazy game. Yeah, this is what we call the fair cage. The fair cage. Alright, what do we want against Niv? Not Skyclave, not this. Redain is like kind of okay against them. Pip is good. Peep. I don't think wedding announcement's where I want to be. But in the mid-range matchups, I usually like trimming on elves. I'm going to cut the Skyclave. And I think one Lovestruck Beast. Maybe the Piper. Cut the Piper. Piper is really bad against Helix. Is Archon good against them? It's good against exactly Bring to Light. But at least something like Redain is good against Bring to Light, but also good against more stuff. You know, like if they just naturally draw their one-ofs. Redain's a lot better than Archon in those situations. Well, thanks, Genbit. I think this hand's too slow. Especially on the draw. This hand's also kind of slow, but I'm already on 6. Okay. I think I'm going to go turn 1 Desire, turn 2 Copter, turn 3 Huntsman's. And then save the cage for turn 4, hopefully. It's the plan, at least. Nice Valky. It's a nice card you got there. Swing and a miss, folks. Swing and a miss. If I happen to be physically leaking, should I leave then? Probably, yeah. I mean, you should probably go to the doctors at that point. You shouldn't be watching a Twitch stream, right? I'm not blocking. It's not happening. Although I'm probably going to attack, so... Who's the idiot now? Am I attacking? If they're willing to hold up mana, what if I just don't crew the Copter? Because they probably have Binding, and they're probably going to Binding by Huntsman's Redemption. Yeah, I'm actually just not going to crew. I'm good. I'll just Time Walk them. Although, it's not really a Time Walk, because they're going to cast the Binding anyways. Okay. Well, maybe I got jebaited. Perhaps I have been jebaited. I don't think I'm better off alone. If I didn't have Twitch chat, where would I be right now? I would be nowhere. Well, I'd rather have them Binding the Redemption than the creature, because I need 3 creatures for Cage. That was the idea, right? If they bind, I want them to Binding something that's not the Copter. Okay, it looks like they have Helix and not Binding. That also makes sense as to why they didn't cast it. Although, I feel like they would still Helix the Beast token there. I guess now the question is, am I sacrificing? I don't think I'm sacrificing. Yeah, let's not sacrifice. Just gonna play Cage and see what they do. Get Piper. I boarded up the Piper. I don't think a Piper is very good in this matchup. Okay, so now we can force the issue, right? Yeah, now forcing the issue is good, because we just respond to their Helix. They can't even cast the Helix here, because they just get bodied by the Cage. I think if they had Helix, they were supposed to respond and Helix the Beast token. Okay, well, I'm just going to do this. They have another removal spell? They don't. They may have a sweeper. I mean, I don't think there's much I can do about them having a sweeper. I think this is the best way I can play this. I don't think it gets any better than this. They have 4 cards in hand. Yeah, I mean, if they're chump blocking, it's pretty obvious. I mean, our leftovers are not the worst. Guess I could have gotten Redain that turn. I could have, like, sacrificed the human token to get Redain. But then they could still just chump block, and then... If they see the Redain, they just chump block and then push Redain instead, then go land, bring to light. So it doesn't really accomplish what I need it to accomplish, if they had push anyways. Always gotta remember to have a draw step stop when you're playing with Huntsman's Redemption. Or upkeep. Draw step or upkeep. Been very, very impressed with Gage so far. Call me. I like that card a lot. Why did we tank on this? Why did that Sunfall take so long to cast? Well... I guess I'm attacking you for 4. I attack. Your turn. Yeah, the upkeep collecting company. Upkeep crew my creature in response. Basically the same thing. Confused as to why that Sunfall took as long as it did last turn? I don't know. Should have been good. Should we have played Mystic Crew Copter, then Crew Chariot? No, Chariot's Crew 4. Can make them sack an artifact. So I can go... Make you sack an artifact, play Elvish Mystic, and attack for 5. Or maybe it's better to play just, like, attack for 4 than play Copter. Yeah, okay, let's do this. They had a Niv, they would have cast it. So, you sack an artifact. Good chance they have another removal spell in hand, but there's not a lot I can do about that. We can go here, attack for 4, then play Copter. Then next turn we can go Elf, Crew Copter, hit with both. Go to 11. I should have pumped there, I guess? No, because I don't play Copter, right? That's why we're not pumping. Huntsman's Redemption was basically a Centaur Courser. Kind of, yeah. I mean, sometimes it is... Sometimes that's what it is, but the ceiling on that card is just so high. Because when they don't cast the Wrath, it's worth a lot more than just a Centaur Courser. It almost feels like a 3-mana 7/7 when you actually get the full use out of the card. So they drew Bring to Light. That's not good. Maybe go into game 3 here in just a minute. Perhaps we can potentially time them out. Gozo from Amoto, thank you for the 32 month resub. That is a long time. That's almost as old as I am. 32 years? Oh my goodness. What'd they get back? They have returned Valky, God of Lies. Okay. They have 4 cards in hand. Alright, I'm going to cast Elf. I'm going to go to combat. Why not just the ship instead of Gearhulk? Well, Gearhulk is better than the ship because you can tutor for it off Redemption. Steel Seraph is interesting, but, like, I don't know. I guess my question would be, is Steel Seraph a better hit off of Collector's Cage than Gearhulk? I'm not sure that it is. But, like, you could maybe make an argument for it. I'm gonna save the Pick Your Poison. You certainly could make an argument for it. Yeah, maybe I just want to try to go as fast as possible, Cathal. I could see that. How did you feel about Gearhulk? I like that deck a lot. The Blue-Eyed Mentor deck we played. The Mentor deck was sick, and Gearhulk was a huge addition. Just giving you a lot more redundancy on the Mentor draws. Just, like, more things to do with your helping hands and whatnot. It was good. Ding, ding. I mean, I think my real win condition is the clock. At this point, I'm pretty sure that's my real win condition, so I guess we can play towards that. Counter on my elf. I was gonna say give me a land, but not specifically that land. They hit a Cariotid and... okay, they hit 2 bricks. I think it might be time to ignore Tybalt. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to do that. Newly controlled. Choose a chariot to keep. I would like to keep the one that is not newly controlled. I don't know. Is attacking Tybalt a good idea? They're at 11. Theoretically, if they brick, I can try to kill them next turn. I'm just going to try and kill them next turn. There is a world where they bricked. It's not likely, but... I see a Clever Lumimancer and a Slickshot Show-Off, and I am in. Yeah, they down-ticked on Chariot. Oh, they can just cast the Chariot. Maybe this was bad. Kind of forgot they could do that. Kill your opponent at 18 on turn 3. That's hot. I mean, when you get to untap with Lumimancer and Slickshot, you probably should be killing them, right? I'd be surprised if you weren't. But how often do you get to untap with both of those creatures on turn 3? I would say not very likely. This is painful. Alright. I'm no longer playing for time. My time is too valuable to keep playing this game. Okay, so... the hell did we cut then? Maybe I can trim on Redemption. We'll go 7 elves in the play. Just like, whenever I decide that I want to play for time, at the end of the day, you know, you can do whatever you want. I'm not saying that if you want to play for time in that spot, I'm not saying you shouldn't, because it's probably the correct thing to do. It takes up a lot of time, and it really detracts from the stream, so I'm just not a big fan of it. This is like a 5-lander with a cavalry, and I don't think I can keep this hand. Yeah, this one's worse. It went to 6 as well. Alright, keepable hand. Keepable hand. I don't like Archon. It's not as useful as it's not as useful as Redain. It's kind of my big thing. Yeah, Clever with Monstrous Rage is very, very nice. I don't disagree with that. I mean, turn 2 Huntsman's is sweet. I wish there was a way that you could, like, backdoor Huntsman's Redemption to search for a creature that also found the cage, but I don't think there's a good way of doing that. Like, I don't think there's a green or white card that searches for cage directly. Ingenious Smith, I guess, if you want to play more artifacts, but that seems like a really rough way to go about it. So we sack Elf for a land, play Chariot. I mean, I'm going to attack you for a lot of damage next turn if you don't sweep the board. Not much else I can do. Do. It's also not great for me, but it's not the end of the world. Alright, we'll go draw phase, crew. Pump these 2. I just have to try and kill them next turn. Attack with both, copy 3/3. They take 11. Guess I could have attacked first, but they didn't block. Guess that is maybe good news. The nice thing about them being at 3 as well is, well, they probably play a land this turn, but I was going to say theoretically the Copter can threaten lethal, but perhaps the combination of both of these could threaten lethal. We'll see. Alright, Village the Pog. We have Villaged the Pog, which is good because that means they're not casting a 5-mana card. I like that. You know, I was gonna try and play towards the clock, but they're doing that themselves, so it's fine. Alright, perfect time to go to the bathroom. Oh, they resolved their village. I was gonna go to the bathroom. I'm gonna go to the bathroom anyways. I'll be right back. Let me know if they kill me, okay? Yeah. I don't think I'm dead. His name is John Cena. Dandy. I would like to enter the combat phase. Does anybody know the name of the song? I forgot it. We perhaps engage in cardboard fisticuffs. Beethoven's Fifth, good response. That's lethal damage. So I'm gonna pass priority. I'm gonna do the thing where I say, you may respond now. It's that thing, you know. That thing that we do. Okay. I mean, they're not dying this turn, but like, realistically, how are they gonna kill me in 2 minutes? It's just not gonna happen. Do you care to address the recent information in regards to Gambas on Spikestream reaching upwards of millions in channel points bet, but no ones here seem to be less? Yeah, well, he has like 5 times as many viewers as I do, so keep that in mind. You sack a flyer, please. Please and thank you. I would like you to sacrifice a creature of the flying variety. I will attack you. I believe this is lethal damage. No, they get a 1. Believe it or not, this is only match 2 of the stream. You might be able to identify that by the time remaining on my opponent's clock. Alright, Village of the Pog. Yeah. You're at 5. You are at 5 life. Maybe they'll tap Confluence. Well, now that they've gained 4 life, they can tap a Confluence. 20 seconds. Surely that's enough time. You know, they got plenty of time. They got plenty of time. I just want to win the game fair and square, you know? I just want to actually kill them. Because I think I can. Crew. Attack. I attack with my individuals. Alright, well. We probably were still going to win that game just by actually killing them, you know? Alright, an hour and a half later, we have completed match number 2. This hand is not good. Not good. Tandy. What's up, Tandy? Thank you very much for the raid. Hope you had a good stream, Tandy. I saw you were playing some Gruul. Hope that went well. I think I put back the second Copterino with this hand. Heart's Desire. Tandy, thanks again for the raid. If you're new to the stream, do me a big favor and hit that follow button. I'd greatly appreciate that. Boros Convoke. Alright, I deploy the Copterino. It is your turn. Enter. I block. Okay, drawing a non-pain land is kind of nice here. Love to loot. So, question is, do we play Redemption or Lovestruck? It's much harder for them to kill Lovestruck. Redemption's kind of awkward because if I play Redemption, they can just go attack with Inti, counter, and force the trade. And I don't really want to make that trade, so I'm just going to do this. It's also a lot more pressure, kind of. I mean, it's not really more pressure because this is, you know, in 2 turns, this is more pressure than Lovestruck Beast, and it gives trample. So that one's actually kind of close. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to play there. Fable. Interesting. So they're not Convoke. Maybe they're like Boros midrange? Boros midrange of sorts. There's no point in playing the Chariot first, because I'm not attacking with the token anyways. So I should not have played my land. But here we are, it's fine. Okay, never punished. No chump blocks. Alright, the Chariot of the Esika variety. God, these tokens are just too good. What's better, the cat token artwork or the Chariot artwork? They're both pretty good. I guess the Chariot artwork is better. Emeria is called Jump Scare. No, Elf is better than land because it Cruise Copter. Yeah, it looks like they're doing some Collector's Cage stuff for sure. I wonder if they have the Cavalry. If they're playing Fable, there's a good chance they have cavalry. I hadn't thought about that. Like Boros giving you the ability to play Fable and Copter to loot away extra copies of Cav seems pretty nice. I kind of don't hate that. Have I tried? I don't think I've tried this yet. Just like NT Fable with Cage. We tried Boros Cage, but it was Boros Convoke, which I think the Convoke cards weren't necessarily as good. And like, this makes a lot more sense just playing, just playing the good cards like Fable. All good. GG's Moondrius. No worries. I kind of expected. I kind of figured that. Moto's been kind of tough lately. All good. Get a sec clue. I don't think I'm ever not calling here. I think I'm always blocking. Even if they kill Chariot, it's not the end of the world. I still have 2 things. Yeah, this is fine. I'll take this trade. They're still miles behind. I'm playing the Elf pre-combat, so they can't take me off of attacking with the Lovestruck Beast. Because if I have 2 1/1s, it's harder for them to do that. Kind of expected that. But that's totally fine. They can't really afford to go to 1 here, I think. They probably have to chump block the Beast. They're in a bad spot. Alright, they've decided to go to 1 life. It's not a lot of life. I guess they could have more Helixes to go back up to 4 or whatever. They could do the Cage thing, because they would have a 3, a 2, and a 1 if they have Cage. With 3 runners? Jeez. Runner is, I've never really utilized Runner that much, but it is a good chip joker if you're playing on Plasma. This is an ambitious attack. Inspector, send him in. Just send him in. Just get the clowns in there. They discarded Kumano. Alright. It's kind of what I expected. They were just looking for an out. No outs to be found. Alright, Boros Cage. Cage adjacent. Pip seems really good against them. If they have Cage and Fable, Skyclave is probably okay. I think, again, I'm sadly going to cut the Piper against Helix. Piper just does not line up that well against Helix. Trim 1 Huntsman's. Because, again, similar, Huntsman's not that great against Helix. I don't want to cut anything else. All my cards seem relatively good. No, I want to keep the Gearhulk for sizing. Maybe I just cut all the redemptions? Just because it's so bad against... It just lines up so badly against Helix. And then cut 1... Cut 1 Lovestruck Beast? No, the sizing matters a lot against Intel. Let's shave an elf. We'll try that. Do you think that the blue-blue Jace Kellen joins up Tuck combo has any legs in Pioneer? I am not familiar with that, Panzer. I'm not sure which combo you're referring to. You will not find any blue-white control on this stream. Not today, not tomorrow, not in 10 years if I'm still streaming. Never. For the rest of my entire life, I have sworn a vow. So I know what Kellen's Joins Up does. I'm not familiar with the combo. Fashionably late to the party. How much money for blue-white control? Blue-white control dono decks are 4x the traditional price. We'll just say that. 4x. Yes, you heard that right, 4x. So it's not never. Yeah, but it's like almost 100% never gonna happen. It like might as well be never, you know? I was really hoping that we would get like a cruel ultimatum moment on camera, similar to the Nassif thing from years and years ago. That would have been so sick if we had that. I wanted it so bad. I know it was not likely to happen, but a man can dream, okay? A man can dream. Yeah, so... Copter not having summoning sickness is just a visual bug. Artifacts do not have summoning sickness. If I animated it, it would have summoning sickness because it's now a creature. Alright, too many cages. too many cages, alright? I don't... Oh, well, that one's, also really bad. I don't think I need 3... I think the 3rd cage is a bit much. Perhaps I should have just not played the 3rd one and just double activated here. Kill one of my cages. You can make sure you pick the right one, though. To find like a Sandstorm Salvager. I see. That makes sense. Both decks just operating at peak capacity. Not a fan of Pro OTJ Limited. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This limited format is so weird. I get that limited is just a different beast in 2024 with the bonus sheets, but like this specific limited format feels so much more like a cube draft than basically any other limited format in a couple of years at this point. It is it's a crazy format. There's so many bombs. So many. Like, certainly more than your average 2024 average New Age Limiteds format. There's a lot more bombs. I did get to watch somebody cast Mana Drain. That was nice. Or maybe I didn't watch it, but I did hear about somebody casting Mana Drain. I think Dom said he Mana Drained Overwhelming Forces. That's peak right there. That is peak. The Land Cyclones Reanimate. Does somebody cast Reanimate on coverage? Well, considering that you're asking the question, I'm assuming the answer is 0, Jose. I'm assuming that's what the answer is. I'm gonna take a wild guess and say it's 0. Yeah, obviously. Imagine fetching in limited, and then your opponent having double archive trap. In limited, by the way. Limited. That's something else. Path to Exile in the format? I guess it is. Today I learned that apparently Path to Exile is in the limited format. I didn't get to catch a lot of the limited stuff on camera. Did anybody cast Oko Thief of Grounds? That's what I was hoping for. That would have been, just peak Pro Tour limited. Casting Oko Thief of Grounds. Not on camera. You hate to see it. That's what we all wanted. We all wanted Oko Thief of Grounds. Okay, Cage is a nice pickup there. And by nice, I mean the best possible card. Because now if they tap out, they might be dead. I saw Javier's deck had Crackle with Power and Electro Dominance. That was, that seemed like a lot. It's not the nuts, but I'll take it. Right? I mean, I'm not going to not do it. Do this main phase. We have 2 3/3s for the Salvager. Yeah, Javi's deck did seem kind of busted. I don't know if it was the same deck, but I know that somebody on camera had, like, triple Vial Smasher. I don't think that was Javier's deck. It might have been somebody else. If I do another channel, I would never put Belatra on main, though. Because, again, I don't think anybody would watch it. A lot of my audience is just MTG. But I've been actually thinking about doing, like, a separate YouTube channel for Belatra. I've been thinking about it. Trying to flip Emrakuls. Oh, so you basically have Emrakul over this card. I do like the idea of playing Fable Inti with Cage. That's something I haven't tried yet. But, like, what's really cool about Inti is it lets you modify powers. So Inti does seem quite good with Cage. This is my 6. I think I'm keeping this. I don't want to go to 5. Elegant Parlor. Plays Elegant Parlor. I'm scared. I am now officially scared. Well, they typed in chat, totally not playing your deck. Okay, I think we have figured out what our opponent is doing. You know what card's really good against Collector's Cage? Draenith Magistrate. Pretty good against Collector's Cage. Not bad. We have a fan of the channel, it looks like. Little Boros Exile. As long as the channel images you with that Joker head and face paint. Which one's that? High Noon. Okay, Salvager's a nice pickup. Given that we just have like a good 3, 4, 5 curve, we don't have the double spell ever. Deathmonk is really good. I guess can keep the Cage to eventually, like, if I ever kill the Draenith, I can set up Cage, so I'll discard the Mystic for now. Although, that's a long ways away. Because I only have 1 removal spell on my deck. I have the 1 Skyclave that I can search for with Huntsman's Redemption. Again, not likely to come up, but just in case it does, I'll need the Elf. No, they're not doing Possibility Storm. For those of you who have not seen, well, first of all, go check out the YouTube. But there is a deck that we have been working on, Boros Exile, which it's right here. It's on the Mox field if you want to check it out. But it's like a fair Boros mid-range deck, where you're utilizing Draenith Magistrate alongside cards like Elite Spellbinder, Aven Interrupter, and Soul Partition Tybalt's Trickery to, like, make those into just 1-for-1s because they can't play the card from Exile. That's the idea. It's a really cool deck. Upkeep Torch Salvager. Huh. I guess the question is, do I activate or crew? I guess I just crew, because I want to play the Chariot this turn. Okay, Torch resolves. And then we go to combat. Still discarding Elf. Don't need the Elf here. Trickery is legal in Pioneer. People have tried. People definitely have tried Trickery. I know Spike was on it. Like, when Spike was playing a lot of Pioneer, he was into the Trickery deck. But, I mean, you know, at the end of the day, Tybalt's Trickery is extremely high variance. Like, you can do it, but let's just say it doesn't do the thing very often. Let's just say that. But it's probably the only deck in the format that you can mold a 3 or 2 and win on turn 2, you know? You can do that. Panic at the top bat says, how do you deal with losing streaks? The answer to your question is simply do not lose. That'll be $5 a month. Soul Partition. Okay, Chariot down. I'll take 2. That is your 1 spell for the turn. Yeah. They ban Trickery. Well, no, I think specifically they ban Trickery in Best of 1. To my knowledge, I don't think Trickery is banned in, like, regular Explorer. I think it's only banned in Best of 1. I'm fairly confident. Chat can confirm or deny that, but I think it's only banned in Best of 1. Is it banned in Best of 3? I thought it was just Best of 1. What am I thinking of then? I thought there was a card that was just banned in Best of 1 in Explorer. Maybe I think of something else. Cage works this turn. No, they have Draenith. Cage never works against Draenith. Go to 3? I mean, I don't think they have outs. If they're playing my list, they definitely don't have outs. They banned it because of Best of 1, but they didn't have the ability to only ban for Best of 1. They probably did, right? I mean, I'm sure they can figure out how to code it to where it's legal in Best of 3, but not Best of 1. Are you sure? Let me look at the, hold on. Tybalt, Trickery, Explorer ban. So this is from a year ago. Classic Reddit post. I guess it is Best of 3, huh? I didn't know that. Doomwake wins the game. The game has been won. Alright, Boros Exile. I mean, we can look at their deck list. They literally told me they were playing my deck, so... Just have the scouting report. This is their deck list, by the way. I wonder if they still have the 3 Urabrasks. I don't know what I want to sideboard. Probably some Skyclaves. That's really it. I'm gonna cut a Cage because it's not great against Draenith. And... Got a Lovestruck Beast, sure. Alright, next. I played 1 RCQ over the weekend. On Saturday, I played the Boros Heroic deck. Round 1, I played against a Phoenix player who I think was relatively new. He did tell me he was relatively new. 2-0'd him. Then round 2, I played against Phoenix again. My opponent got a game loss for misregistering the deck, and they destroyed me in the next 2 games. Like, the games were not even close. I kept hands that were relatively fine, but they just didn't, you know, like my opening hand was fine, but they just didn't work out. And then round 3, I get paired into blue-white, which, if for those of you who don't know, is basically an unwinnable matchup for Heroic. And that did exactly play out the way that you thought it would. And I got also utterly destroyed. And then I dropped. And then I went to go get some dope-ass barbecue. How is blue-white unwinnable? Have you ever heard of this card called Temporary Lockdown Scouter? But I did get some really good barbecue. And that was worth it. That was good. Alright, let's turn to Salvager here. I don't know. I've played against that matchup a couple of times. It just has not seemed winnable to me. I don't know. I mean, I guess you have... What? I mean, I guess you have Lauren's Escape for Verdict, but that doesn't stop Lockdown. It just seems if they cast Lockdown on 3, you probably can't win. That's more so what it is. Now, they don't always have it on turn 3, but it does seem like the games where they do have it are extremely difficult. I even had one Light of Hope, Light of Hope in the sideboard. There was a really funny situation that happened in Game 2 where I had a Light of Hope in my hand, and their third turn was Hallowed Fountain tapped pass, and I had 2 creatures in play, and I was like, okay, if they had the lockdown, they obviously would have cast it that turn. So I decided to cast my Light of Hope to get an extra point of damage in to put them to, I think I put them to 2 that turn. No, I think I put them to 3, which meant that Slick Shot plus any spell was lethal. So I decided to use the Light of Hope to put them to 3. And they ended up just drawing the lockdown. I was like, come on! And they just obviously played it off the top, because I knew and they knew that if they had it, they would have cast it. It was pretty hilarious. I'm gonna block. I'll take whatever trade you wanna make here. I will, in fact, declare a block. Do you remember? Do you remember? No! Well, the counter! How could this happen? Also, double Moonshaker, by the way. Well, this is a bit awkward, isn't it? Just a little awkward. So we do it like this, and we can send bulk, copy, and then activate the, Man, I've been very, very impressed with Sandstorm Salvager in this deck. This card is really, really good if you're making a lot of tokens. So sick. Not sure about that block. Not quite sure about that block. Maybe they just have locked out, or they're trying to bait me. I guess I wouldn't be that surprised. Moonshaker Cavalry entered the Exile Zone. We're attacking. We're getting in there. Yeah, you're really not ever casting this card. I shouldn't say never, because you are playing Elves, but I mean, you're not trying to cast the card, Because you already have Emeria's Call and Symbiosis, I'm beginning to think that what if we just cut the Cavs and play more Gearhulks? Because Gearhulk is obviously extremely good. Like, you can, if you hit it off Cage and cast it on turn 3, that's still pretty messed up. But it's also just a lot more castable at 5 mana. So I'm kind of thinking about, like, trying something like that with the next league. Yeah, better 4 or 5 drop. Sand is not good. This one's okay. I can keep this. I think I am going to put back the Gearhulk, though. I was thinking about putting back land, but it's too bad if they kill Elves, so back Gearhulk. Yeah, you don't have to cut the calves entirely. You can just shave on calves, and that's okay. 2, maybe. But at that point, it's like, what's the point of even playing any calves if you're not going to play 4, right? Waste not. So now if they go blank me, we can discard 2 lands. No, Dallas you have to qualify for, or you had to qualify for. They do have LCQs, so you can go to Dallas and try to LCQ if you'd like. I agree, Gizmos. It's all about Cage. As a lot of matchups are. Okay, there's a chance. There's always a chance. I don't know yet, Twitch Shark. I want to try a couple of different things. The deck that I want to try the most is the Bronco deck. I really think there is something there with the Bronco deck. Like the combination of just Bronco, Shadow Mortality, and Insatiable Avarice. I want to work a lot on that deck. And like the other thing I want to work on is Slick Shot. I want to find the best Slick Shot deck in Standard. Alright, well this game's over. I even wonder if Bronco could be good enough for Pioneer. I think it could be. I think that there is definitely a chance that Bronco's good enough for Pioneer. Because, like, you get a lot of the same cards, but you get better interaction, right? Fatal Push, all that stuff. I'm gonna draw any spell. That one's not a bad one. The best performing Slick Shot went 4 and 6, really. Interesting. I mean, I guess the decks are just not great against Esper. So how do we make our red deck good against Esper? Is that maybe not possible? Alright, I don't want to play through Lilian Ultimate. Give it Tyvar stand. Yeah. Is there any, like... What's the best blue protection spell that's legal in Standard? Are there any good ones? Cut these... Don't, like... Kind of need Skyclave against the stupid, Waste Not. So, the last time I played this matchup, I did this thing where I just cut all the calves. And it actually felt pretty good. Just kind of transform it to more of a mid-range deck. Like the ceiling can all. So I'm gonna try that. Slip out the back, shore up. So the weird part about slip out the back is if you okay, so you play a slick shot, and they go to cut down your slick shot, and you slip out the back. You're not attacking that turn. So it kind of has to not be exactly slip out. It has to be just like give my thing indestructible or hexproof. Well, I'm trying to stay in blue-red. I guess red-green would also give you questing druid, so maybe there's like a good red-green slick shot deck in standard. That's like Swift Spear, questing druid, slick shot, royal treatment, audacity, maybe? Yeah, and then maybe you also play Picnic Ruiner, that kind of package, where you go like Picnic Ruiner, Kumano. I guess Picnic Ruiner also does work with audacity. That's not bad. We could try that. You could play Codebreaker too. I would kind of rather have another 1-drop if there is a good one. I think I like Royal Treatment more than Safekeeping, but it's close. Those are both very good. They took Copter and not Salvager. Interesting. All right, I'm with you. Can we try a Slick Shot deck next? I do have a, well, not for Standard. That's for next week, Blue Rogue. We're thinking about stuff for next week. But those are the 2 decks that I want to work on, is Bronco and Slick Shot, for Standard specifically. Okay, they know about the Pick Your Poison, so this is clearly bait. I mean, I'm gonna take the bait. I'm not gonna not take the bait. At 5, yeah. Dude. I have a good feeling we're getting Path Apparel this turn. Oh, you're saying for Pioneer? I mean, I've been playing a lot of Slick Shot in Pioneer. I was gonna try and do a second version of this with no Moonshakers. But I do have a blue-red Slick Shot, blue-red Wizards deck that I want to try out at some point today. Okay, we take this. I'm trying to think what the best way to sequence this is. It's on the Mox Field if you want to check it out, Blue Rogue. All the decks that I was planning on playing on today's stream are on the Mox Field. Kind of think I'm supposed to just go to combat. Perhaps I should have also played the Elf pre-combat, but I'm holding up the Salvager activation. Like, I'm just going to do this. If they push, then I can respond in Cage. I kind of want them to act first, because if they cast Push, they don't have another Black Source, which means I get the Cage for free. But I don't want to activate Cage first, because then they push in response and I can't get my thing. So I'll wait for them. 2 mana. Okay, so they definitely have Path Apparel. I'm just going to try and hit something that doesn't die to Path Apparel. That's actually not bad, because we have the Elf in hand, right? Yeah, I'll take that. Because now, even if they path these 2, we just play Elf, you know? I guess, funny enough, this can't currently attack, because I made my Elf a 2/2. Kind of hadn't thought about hitting Lovestruck. I know that it seems weird to put a counter on the creature they're killing, but it would have made sense to keep a 1/1 in play if I hit Lovestruck. I hadn't thought about that. Very interesting decision there. How did the Orzhov Vampire Cage deck do? It was okay. It wasn't terrible. I think that there is something there potentially, like the concept of playing Cage as an additional way to put Vein Ripper into play sounded kind of cool. But the issue I have with that deck is like the card quality outside of Cage, Thoughtseize, Fatal Push, Sorin, Vein Ripper. The cards that you have to play to enable Cage, because you're not doing it naturally, you have to play a lot of bad cards. And that was the issue with that deck, was I just felt like the card quality was extremely low. I'm not quite sure how to address that issue. Because the thing about Cage is you do have to play a certain number of cheap cards, right? With Cage, you can't just be like, you know, here's a bunch of 2 and 3 drops and hope that that's good enough. Because you need some amount of 1 drops to be able to have those fast Cage draws. But the issue is the 1-drop vampires are all completely unplayable. Outside of Landing. Landing is the only good one. But like Skymarcher, Aspirant, there's so many bad. I guess Ebon Legion is okay too. Yeah, this is game 3. Ebon Legion is not embarrassing. So I guess you have Ebon Legion and Legion's Landing. Those are okay 1-drops. And then for 2-drops you have like Dusk Legion Duelist, which works extremely well with both Cage and Sorin. That was a really good find. I think it was Nick who suggested that one. And then Adanto Vanguard, Dusk Legion Zealot, And then on 3, we had Sanguine Evangelist, another good find, because that makes 2 bodies with different powers, which 2 bodies with different powers, very good with Cage. So the additions we made to the deck were very good, and I think there is maybe something there. Took the wedding announcement. Announcement received. Announcement no longer received. It's not a bad draw. I don't think I'm willing to pay 3 life to deal them 1 damage. Although, maybe I should, because my life total is not that relevant. Sure hope I don't lose this game by 1 point of life, by 1 damage. That's a lot of sky claves. And something, nice mana-based Doomwake. It's okay, we're gonna be able to loot away one of these. Ooh, they didn't have Fatal Push? Kinda shocked. Bro, I need white mana, please. Smashing, where's my white mana? So now they Path of Peril these 3. I would imagine. Could have a Shield Rid. Okay. White source, please. Can I please get a white source of mana? Huh. I think I give them a 2-2? I could give them a card. Discard Symbiosis. How much do I care about them having a 2-2? The 2-2 does let them chump block Chariot. Alright, I'm gonna give them a card, because they've already played their land this turn. Don't forget Preacher. Weirdly enough, I actually think that I like Sanguine Evangelist more than Preacher. But I guess Preacher is good in the same vein, because it's also kind of 2 bodies. Right, you just have to do it post-combat, which is fine, you know. Yeah, I gambled a little bit in trying to draw a white source here, but it did kind of pay off. I'm going to save the other elf. So we go here, here, attack for 9, we go to 6, copy this, duplicate ski. I'm going to keep the elf in hand, because if they sweep me next turn, which they almost have to, I want to make sure I can keep the elf to crew the copter. Cutthroat Contender. I don't know what that one is. Hard. Cutthroat Contender. Oh, the one that you were talking about in the Discord? Yeah, I don't hate that card. 4/4 lifelink. Interesting. Can I somehow assemble enough power to kill them through a 4/4 lifelinker? So if I go Elf, Skyclave, use the Skyclave and the Cat token to crew the Chariot, the new Elf to crew the Copter, I would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 attackers. 3. I think I have exactly enough. Well, the problem is, what if I hit a land? Oh, I just don't loot, right? Yeah, I just don't loot. Okay. I just don't. I'm like, wait, what if I hit a land? I could just choose not to loot. That's how the card works. Right. Yeah, this should be Xaxes. I can, in fact, choose to not loot. I will elect to not. I believe this is Xaxes. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You love to see exact lethal. You love that. Doing the math, calculating. Look at that. 0 life. You go to 0 life, and I get some treasure chests. Easy dub on the Gamba, by the way. Believers, eating good tonight. Alright, let's talk about the changes that we've made. The Gearhulk was good. I like the Gearhulk. The Howl Pack Piper did not come up that much. Huntsman's Redemption felt very, very good. Big fan of that card. The Skyclave, I could take or leave. I think it is good to have a tutorable target if you're playing the Huntsmans. The next version I kind of want to try is no Cavalries. And I think we are going to try that version next. But for those of you watching this video on YouTube, if you like the video, like, subscribe, comment. Please let me know what you thought down below. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, YouTube.